All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our virtual installment of Let's Talk You. My name is Keon Delas. I am an instructor in music here at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. We'd like to welcome you all to our installment this evening, and we have a lovely evening planned for you all. We'll be giving you all a sort of virtual tour where you can see some of the things that we do here at the DCFA amongst the different departments within the DCFA. We'll then give you a brief overview of the programs that we have available at DCFA, and we'll even give you all an idea of some of the careers that you can follow after completing studies at DCFA. And then we won't have you take our word for it. We'd also have past students, alumni sharing their experiences with you so that you can hear from them how their life was being members and students of the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. And then finally, we'll wrap up with general questions and answers, an entire segment where you can ask all your questions because I know you all have a lot of questions. You can ask all that you need to find out anything about the program. And we'll also even take you all into some smaller breakout rooms after where you can ask questions specific to programs that you may be interested in, whether it be music, visual arts, theater, or dance. So we'd like to welcome you all again. I would now hand over to our head of department, Mr. Jessel Murray, for his opening remarks.
Good evening, and thank you very much, Mr. Delas, and welcome everybody to Let's Talk You. This is our annual virtual recruitment. Actually, the University of the West Indies will have another type of recruitment, and we're already inviting you at face-to-face on the 8th and the 9th of July, 10 to 4. We'll come back and we'll remind you about that. But let's talk you, and welcome to the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, the DCFA, at the FHE, the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the UWI, the University of the West Indies. Let me repeat all of that mouthful. The DCFA, the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, at the FHE, the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the UWI. I can go on to say TT, but then I could keep going on and say WI West Indies, too many letters. So welcome to the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, where and welcome to the University of the West Indies, our venerable and powerful institution, where we are actually celebrating this year 75 years of education. And we also continue to celebrate that we are #1 in the English-speaking Caribbean in terms of universities. We are here today not only to talk to you, but to have you talk to us, hence the terms and hence our name, Let's Talk You. At first, we are going to describe what we do, but then we want to hear from you what you would like to do with us, whether you have already auditioned or interviewed, whether you're thinking about it before our application deadline closes on the 31st of July, or whether for the next few years you're thinking about it and you want to start directing your path towards the DCFA FHE at the UWI. With me this evening are a number of our staff, and yes, as Mr. Delas has said, you'll be meeting them in the various breakout rooms who represent the various disciplines of musical arts, visual arts, dance, and theater arts, as well as carnival studies, which are electives at our particular department. And we are inviting you to think about not only just studies, but as Mr. Delas has said, about a career in the arts. That is what we're about. And the lovely thing about this department, we have good fun in doing two things, in learning theory, but also doing practice. And we invite you to come in and take in our best theoretical persons from all the experts. As you're seeing, one of the nice things about being virtual, the persons who you see listed here, we are actually all around the world. Some of us are in Trinidad and Tobago. We're spread all over. One person, and I would just start by introducing Debelina Paul, who is the coordinator of the dance unit. She's actually sitting down right now in India, where she went on vacation. So she's 11 hours behind, and she's very, very tired, but she's here today before she returns to Trinidad. As well, next to her, probably on your screen, would is Mrs. Michelle Boyd, who is the coordinator of the Theatre Arts Unit. And then we have Mr. Satanand Sharma, who's the outgoing and venerable coordinator of the musical arts unit, and followed by Mrs. Kelly Ramnal, who will be coming in, and you will hear from her a little bit later. And then we have Dr. Travis Weeks. I'm just seeing his name there, who is the coordinator of the theater arts unit, but standing in for him as well is Mr. Brendan Lakai. And Mr. Weeks, Dr. Weeks at the moment is also in the United States. Dr. Remy, who is here in the state there, and Mrs. Ramlal, they're both in the United States. They're not only doing holidaying, but they're also doing research to come back to consort with you when you come into this department. It would be remiss of me not to mention the Dr. Marsha Pierce, who's both a visual arts lecturer, but is our FHE Deputy Dean for Distance Outreach, who has also joined us today in her dual roles. So we have, as Mr. DeLassa said, this is your time to talk to you. Tell us why, some of you all can even share in the room why you have already chosen to be at the DCFA. Some of you all can say, we would like to come, but if there are any parents or guardians here, we are particularly always interested in hearing about you, because we know you will say, so what are they going to do with that? Well, you know what? We will tell you what you're going to do with that, which is creative and festival arts. All of us here are professionals in our field. We are going to tell you what it takes to move from where you are to where we are, and hopefully further. So welcome everybody to our Let's Talk You at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts, the DCFA, the FHE at the UWI. We invite you to think about joining us. Those of you who already have auditioned, congratulations. You're in for a wonderful time, whether it is your certificate, 1 year, 2 years, or the full degrees, 3 years. Those of you all who are thinking about it, we urge you, yes, the 31st of July is your time. And those of you all who are, may have some years again, we will talk to you about the path that you can start plotting in order to be at the DCFA, the leader in performing visual and carnival arts in the Caribbean. I'm saying it boldly and loudly. And also you're becoming a part of a great tradition of the University of the West Indies celebrating 75 years. We now hand you back to Mr. DeLassa, who will guide you further on your next path today of Let's Talk You at the DCFA. Thank you very much, Mr. DeLassa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murray. Thanks for those welcoming words. And everyone, we can talk so much about the DCFA, but of course we are going to give you all a chance to see. We are now going to play a video, and you all will get a first-hand visual experience of what we do here at DCFA. course, Mr. Jackson, I hope you all have a better visual idea of the many things that we do at this very diverse Department of Creative and Festival Arts here at TUE. I know many of you all would have a lot of questions based on seeing those videos, of course, and the events that we have at DCFA are always open to the public. So those of you all who are about to join us in September, of course, you all will be a part of these lovely events. And those of you all who will be joining us later on, you all are always welcome to come visit and come see what we do live and in person. So now we'll move on to Mrs. Kelly Ramla, the incoming coordinator of music here at DCFA, and she would share more about our programs and careers.
Okay, thank you all for joining us today. It's great to see everybody and see the interest and excitement starting to build for this new academic year that we have coming up. First, I'd like to talk to you about the different certificate programs that we have, the degree programs that we have, and a little bit about admissions. Certificate is the level for just after CSEC. So if you've just finished CSEC, or you finished it in the past, you might have just finished your final exams and you're even awaiting your results. Now's the time to apply for one of your certificate programs so that you can submit audition materials or prepare for your interview and otherwise fulfill our requirements while you wait for your results to come in. As soon as your results come in, you then follow up and provide those to UE admissions. So we have certificate programs in dance and dance education, and we have practitioner's certificate in drama or theater and education, technical theater, music, visual arts, and the duration of those varies. Some of those are one-year programs and some of them are two-year programs like music. For degrees, degree would be after you do a certificate, you might come back to us to do one of our degree programs or bachelor's, or we call it the undergraduate Bachelor of Arts degree. And for degrees, we have the dance degree, we have musical arts, theater arts, and visual arts. And full-time, these take 3 years. Part-time, they take 5 years. It is possible to switch from full-time to part-time or part-time to full-time in the program while you're one of our students, and you can negotiate that if your life situation changes. You can also enter our degrees either from one of our certificates, or if you've just done CAPE Performing Arts or other CAPE subjects and you have other experience and qualifications in your discipline. Some people may also have an associate degree or a certificate or another type of program from a different institution, and these can also assist to get you accepted to a degree in one of our programs. Postgraduate programs, meaning after you finish a degree, either with us or somewhere else, a bachelor's degree. We have the postgraduate diploma in arts and cultural enterprise management, which is a one-year program. We call that ACEM. And we have a Master of Arts in Creative Design and Entrepreneurship, CDEN, we also call that. That's 1.5 years. So you could consider those as well as a step to take after you finish one of our programs, or maybe you're just joining us for your postgraduate. So in order to apply, if you have not already done so, you want to log into www.sta.ue.edu and look for admissions. I believe we'll have the link posted in the chat in a moment. You can submit an application to admissions, and then you interact with us in our various units, and we do auditions and interviews and things depending on the subject, and we make recommendations back to admissions. Then you follow up with admissions to see what the status is. As I mentioned, if you're waiting for CSEC results or even CAPE results, you've just completed CAPE, you'll want to submit those to UE to follow up. You may have done your audition or your interview previously, but you'll follow up and submit those exam results as soon as you get them, and then keep checking back on the admissions portal. So that's admissions. I believe Mr. Murray said July 31st is the deadline for those. So you want to get those applications in if you've not already done so, or make sure that the application you've started is complete and all your documents have been submitted. Once you are a UE student, once you're accepted to one of our programs, there are various resources available for you. There is a section of UE called the Division of Student Services and Development, or DSSD, and they offer various types of services to support you when you're here with us as a student. You're not just there going it alone, trying to find your way through being a university student, and they offer bursaries and payment plans. Health services unit is there with medical and counseling services. And we have, we have the academic advising and disabilities liaison unit as well. So once you're with us, you can explore the various things that are available to you. And moving forward, talking about careers, as they said, we would look at what you do after you finish. And these are just a few examples in each of the different disciplines. There are many, many more possible. And some of these are things that our current students are starting to do, or our prior graduates, previous graduates are out there in the field doing as a career. All of the arts, entrepreneurship, right, is a major possibility, making your own way, making your own job and business. Music, we have professional solo performer, professional ensemble performer, we have the police band, fire services, those types of things, conductor of different groups, vocal or instrumental coach, teaching is a big one, conductor or arranger, film scoring, music producer, or music therapist. Some of these require another program, a graduate program afterwards, like music therapy, for example. But certainly many of our students have gone on to these types of careers. And ethnomusicology, being an ethnomusicologist, is another one. Looking at dance, some of the many options available: performer, choreographer, dance entrepreneur, dance therapist, teacher, stage manager, costumer, set designer, and dance researcher or production manager. Again, just a small handful of possibilities. Visual arts, graphic designer, product designer, book illustrator, fine artist, museum administrator, teacher, human-centered design specialist, designer for social change, design researcher, or a ceramicist. Again, many, many options, many different possibilities. And theater arts, arts entrepreneur, actor, stage manager, technical designer, production manager, playwright, professional performer, drama therapist, or teacher, or even maybe a cultural officer or cultural agent. So those are just some of the possibilities with our undergraduate programs, with our certificate programs. When you get into the graduate, we look at arts enterprise, and there are many, many possibilities here, but some few are entrepreneur in the creative sector, design management consultant, even a university lecturer, again, requires a little follow-up with some further programs of study, events manager, brand manager, business development manager, or project manager for creatives, or even writing, arts writer, or getting into journalism or blogging. Just to note as well, many of our students have over the years been able to secure scholarships for these master's degree and further studies that are required for some of these careers. So thank you very much. That's just a quick overview. So we'll stop with that. Just remember, July 31st is the deadline. If you haven't put in an application, get one started. If you have one in, double check to make sure it's complete. And if you're waiting for exam results, be sure to follow up with those and get them to UE as soon as they're in your hands. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much, Mrs. Ramlal. Just to echo again, you all have until July 31st. Don't wait on results. You can apply now. And when you get your results, then you can upload your results after. So go ahead, do your application now, get your head start. Now you have heard a lot from us again, and I hope you all have your interests built even more after seeing all that we have to offer. But don't take it from us. We want you all to hear from students who were once, well, past students, people who were once part of our programs. Let you hear from them what their experiences were like and what they think, their honest opinions about the programs that we have at DCFA. So now we look at another video of our alumni.
Hey everyone, my name is Kishon Julian and I'm the current NLCB Panorama winner, and I'm also a past student of the University of the West Indies, where I would have pursued a bachelor's in musical arts. My experience at UE was very fulfilling, as I was able to build my network as a young professional musician while gaining the tools necessary for me to excel in my craft. I must say that my year group at UE, we had an amazing time. We had lots of laughter, but most importantly, we looked out for one another. We were basically like family, and still up to this day, we maintain that bond. I was also a part of the UE Arts Teal, where I got the opportunity to travel to Mexico, Panama, and Belize, where we had so many great experiences performing, conducting workshops, as well as liming. Your experience at UE is dependent on you. There are going to be many hard days, but once you manage your time well, get the work done, and have fun, everything would be okay. Stay safe.
Hi, my name is Kathy Beckles. I'm an artist, arts educator, and creative entrepreneur, as well as a DCFA alumna. My time at DCFA was a really nice combination of getting mentorship and guidance and exposure, but I think what was the biggest takeaway was how the community, they encouraged me to be self-sufficient and independent and to really believe in my vision. Getting my BA in visual arts there, I am now currently working out of my own studio here, as well as running two small businesses. One is Portraits by Kathy, where I design and illustrate intentional stationery and lifestyle products. For me, if I could give one word of advice, it would be to go into your experience at DCFA with a mindset of learning and exploring, and to welcome the unexpected.
Well, my name is Tremaine Lamy, and I'm a proud alum of University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. I majored in theatre arts and communication studies, and I'm now the children's director of the Lion King in London, and I have been here for almost 10 years. And I'm proud to say that I'm a UE game changer. When I was part of the UE Arts Chorale, we have a great chorale over there, and it goes, mangoes, mangoes, mangoes. Yeah, that reminds me of my
beautiful voice.
Thank you. I must say there's so many Caribbean people and coming out into the international arena where the arts are concerned. You know, I work with so many people from Barbados, Jamaica, Antigua, just across the region. And so many people are getting so many great opportunities. And I know I got my opportunity because I went through my years at UE and because I learned so much. And diversity, you know, I am the first Black female director that Disney's had for the kids director, and I feel awesome about it.
Well, nothing else to be said. They said all that they can, and I hope you all have a way better idea of the opportunities and the experiences and the joy that you can experience here at the Department of Creative and Festival Arts. Thank you all again for being with us, and we now would like to open the floor for general questions and answers. You could put your questions in the chat. Do be mindful that we do have a breakout room session after, where you can ask questions specific to any program that you would like to get into. So if you are interested in music, we'll put you in the music breakout rooms, etc. And you can ask your questions about those specific disciplines in those breakout rooms. You would also be able to switch to another breakout room if you are interested in more than one discipline. That's fine as well, and you could ask your questions there. So now, do we have any general questions about admissions, anything about becoming a part of the DCFA family, what you'd have to do? Please feel free to let us know in the chat, and any one of our faculty members would be able to answer the question. Let's talk you. What do you expect? What What are you concerned about? What would
All right.
you, anything you'd like to know?
So, Mr. Delas, I see a question. I don't know why it came directly to me.
Uh,
And it says, do you have to pay anything other than the $90? And the answer is yes. $90 is the application fee. And then they do the admissions division will do the processing. And then after that, once you are in, but then there are fees, which are, well, besides there are tuition fees to begin with, at the Faculty of Humanities and Education. It's $400 per credit. Most of you all in the certificate programs will be doing 8 credits per semester. But if you're doing the degree, you'd be doing anywhere between 9 to 15 credits per semester, multiplied by the 400 TT, plus you will have some additional fees as well. I see Elizabeth Papanet says, what is the age requirement to start the certificate program? I think we can safely say we have taken persons in as young as 16. We've taken persons young, 16, 17. So in a way, there's no age requirement once you have the CSEC. Leanne Harris, anyone, can I pursue 2 of the following that were given, or is it only 1 to be done? In terms of the certificate programs, you can only pursue 1 certificate program at a time. At the degree level, there's you can pursue, if you have a special, and when you go into the makeup modes, you'll find out the difference between a special and a major. If you are doing a major, yes, you can do a double major. If you're doing a special, you can do a minor. You can do a major as well, but will not be granted. That has its own stories. Can you mix and mingle your different programs across our department? And the answer is yes. Some of them will have certain pre-requirements, but people do that. Another person has asked, with my application, the supplemental items and documents says there are currently no supplemental items associated with this application. How do I upload my documents? Those are you normally do those by scanning, but what I'd like you to hold that question, and so we can speak directly into, we'll be able to tell you those in the breakout rooms about how and find out what sort of difficulty, because once you've created your profile, you should be able to scan your items directly up because there's a place to upload on your profile. So we need to find out at Ms. Sampson, who I see here, what is the particular problem that you're experiencing. Once we get into the, and I know that she's a musician, once she gets into the breakout room, we'll be able to talk with her about it. Are we missing any there? All right, yes. Savannah Glode said, are there any entrepreneurial or teaching courses available that are related to the arts? And the answer is yes. At both the undergraduate level, I know that Dr. Tull was here, or I think she's still here. Dr. Tull, are you here? Are you hearing us? Or Mr. Ashby? But they would have been able to say, yes, there are. We do have entrepreneurial courses, both at the level 2 and level 3, which are available. And of course, we talked about at the postgraduate level. So yes.
We have a question from Leanne Harris as well.
Hold on one second. I think Mr. Ashby just about to say something.
Sorry. Hi, good day, everyone. I didn't realize my mic was muted. So okay. Yes, so the courses are available. You have courses that will treat with things that you will have to deal with in terms of being an entrepreneur in this space, everything from economics of culture to economics of copyright, which will give you a sense. And of course, we have intro to business, right? And then of course we have enterprise internship in the arts, all of which will give you a solid foundation towards entrepreneurship with any of the other degrees that you're pursuing. And I would always recommend that as an artist and entertainer, you have a firm grounding and a sense of what is the possibilities for you as a business person, because you will always find yourself having to manage yourself to some extent. So even if you don't open your own business, it is always useful to have that concept of intellectual property, copyright, and those things that will come in very handy and useful as an artist in whatever your area.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashby, who is an adjunct lecturer and also a PhD candidate at the university, showing the way. Thank you so much. I'm seeing one there from Mr. Harris. Is that one you're going to
from
read?
Ms. Harris, yes.
Yes,
If
go
I
ahead,
were to
because
do both visual arts and theatre arts, can I use the visual arts with theatre and still be an actress?
would either visual arts lecturer or theatre art lecturer like to respond to that? Mr. Lakai, it looks like you have hit the button first, like a game show. Go ahead.
Leanne, I was going to message Sean. Let's discuss it in the breakout room, because that's a specific question. Yeah.
All right, great.
And then
other questions?
We had Alma's Ryan. Apologies if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly. What is the structure of the music certificate classes? And of course, when you get to the breakout room for music, we could give you a better breakdown of the music certificate classes. So we'll answer that question in the breakout room.
I wanted to read the one from Gianna Valentine, please.
Can you sign up if you are informed too?
And the answer is yes, but you have to have CSEC. Once you have CSEC, we are taking you in. Yes. Other questions?
If you are currently pursuing an associate degree related to the arts, can your credits be transferred?
And the answer is carefully yes. But there is a process. So depending, Ms. Glode, depending on which room that you go to, I think you may want to chat with any of us. I'm not sure what your particular discipline is, but we can speak about it, or we can give you make an appointment. I think it may be very helpful to make an appointment to see us or to write to us. I'm putting my own email address in the chat, because that one will take some discussion. So shoot me an email, and I'd be very happy to speak to you about where you are, which institution, and what you're currently doing, because it depends on where you are in your associate program and from where. So, but yes, we have had in the past credits which have been transferred.
While we pause here, I'd just like to ask everyone to please add your major, your interested major, after your name here on Zoom. So for example, you can put Keon Delas Music, so that we'll know that we have to put you in the music breakout room after. Of course, we still encourage you all to ask your questions while we await that. So go ahead and ask your general questions, but please put your interested major after your name, so we can put you in the relevant the relevant room. If you can rename yourselves here on Zoom to add that would be great. Any other questions? Anything? We have some good questions coming in so far.
Yes, I just realized I now put my my stuff on. I only sent it to one person. So Jocelyn.murray@sta.uwi.edu. Yes, please send me an email. I'd be very happy to engage you. And I want to remind persons, as Mr. Delas is here as well, that you can come and see us face-to-face at the Quadrangle on main campus on Saturday the 8th of July, Sunday the 9th of July from 10 till 4. You can come in and you can see us there. You can talk with us. We'll be there at the FHE at tables. So come in and see us on that day in case you want to talk, or if you want to write to us and say you would like to visit the premises of DCFA. We are here all summer. Please feel free to come in and see us as well. We'd be very happy to take you on a tour to show you what awaits you here at the DCFA. So please feel free.
We have a question from Salim Charles. What causes an unsuccessful application?
That's a big one. All right, first of all, that's a broad question about what causes to be unsuccessful. The process is when you apply to the admissions division, they are going to match up your qualifications, which you currently have, either at the certificate level, CSEC, or the equivalent, or CAPE/associate degree or the equivalent. So they look to see if broadly, one, if you have already satisfied the requirements for entry, or you will probably have informed them that you're currently awaiting results. So based on that and the subjects that you put there, they will also make a judgment based on your expected results. If none of those criteria can be met, then probably they would say, this is not the time. So please notice it is, and based on Mr. DeLass had emphasized this, is that either what you currently have with your qualifications or what you are expected to have. So please remember, you can apply to the university before your exam results come in. In fact, if you're waiting for CSEC or CAPE results, please apply now, before the 31st of July. If you wait until the results come out, it will be too late. Although sometimes we, I don't encourage you all in habits. Sometimes we've been able to beg admissions because you didn't know. But then if you're here now, you do know, so we can't beg for you. So apply now. So therefore, if those initial qualifications don't make it, then your application will not even be sent to us. If it is sent to us, there are either auditions or an interview. And again, dependent on what we see, then or hear, that also may or may not contribute to success or lack of success. So I'm seeing that Salim Charles has written, there wasn't any option to upload certificates, only CSEC alone. When you go into your breakout room, you'll have to help us with that. I'm not quite understanding what that means. Any others?
Yes, we have a couple more questions from Ms. Deanne Harris again. If I pursue one career and I don't want to continue with that career, can I change it if I were to be midway through or no? I'm assuming she means a particular program at DCFA rather than a career.
And the answer to that, of course, is always yes. If you are the DCFA and you are transferring within the DCFA, we will say, all right, but we will still ask. If you're transferring out, we will ask you to come and sit down and have a nice time with us, and we will hear from you what is or isn't working. Overwhelmingly, programs work for people, but we certainly understand that sometimes people have a change of heart. But of course, and when people have a change of heart, we still want to keep you within either the FHE or within the UE orbit. So therefore, what you do, you come and sit with us, and we will say, okay, this is what we are thinking. All right, this is where you are. This is what we are seeing. It happens rarely, but it does happen. But have a conversation with us.
And Ms. Harris also asked about prices. I'm surprised nobody asked about gate as yet, but prices to be paid.
All right. So again, if you are at the certificate level, per semester, the certificate will cost you $3,200 per semester, which is 8 credits multiplied by $400 per credit. That's $3,200 per semester. That does not include what UE calls the extra fees. Those you will learn with time. In the degree, if you're only part-time, which is 3 courses, that's 9 credits, you'll be paying $3,600 per semester. If you're doing the entire full-time, which is 15 credits, that will be $6,000 per semester. And I have to say, with some pride, all this causing us some strain, our degrees are the cheapest in the entire University of the West Indies circuit. We are the cheapest by far, and we have not raised our fees for 22 years. So we are a bit overdue because our costs have risen. But I have to say to you, if no things rise, by the time you finished with a degree here from the University of the West Indies at the DCFA/Creative Arts, you will have spent no more than $45,000. I challenge you to purchase a vehicle for $45,000. It's still an excellent bargain for the world-class lecturers who are facing you at the moment. Quite a bargain. And we don't, whether or not the fees go up, we will be delivering quality to you. And somebody put something there. I'd love somebody to respond to that. Oh yes, look, there's some other questions coming in, Mr. DeLass.
Is it possible to sit into some of the classes so that someone can have a better feel for the different programs?
Colleagues, yes? And the answer is overwhelmingly yes. Absolutely. It happens all the time. Many times without invitation. I remember Mr. Lakai was teaching a course last year, and I brought a whole tribe of secondary school students. And also Dr. Remy had got the same tribe, and they went into her rehearsal. Yes, so the answer is absolutely yes.
And will there be any transport available?
You can answer that one, Mr. Delas.
Of course, we do have shuttles at the university that will take you all over the university to different parts of the campus, and they also even take students home after hours once it is near to the campus within the environs. So there is a lot of transportation available.
Yeah, Ms. Harris has asked, how long can we be able to sit in on these classes, like a time frame? You sit as long as you wish. I mean, some of them are 3 hours long. So if you have 3 hours, absolutely, please sit. There are no secrets.
I like Leanne. I really like Leanne. Leanne asking questions, man.
Yes, she's making sure. And is there a gate to cover parts of it for TT Nationals? Yes, gate covers our programs from the certificate all through the degree. Of course, you're covered at gate based on the documents that you submit, whether it's 100%, 75, 50, or 25%. That's entirely, but gate covers you from the certificate through the degree. Other questions, Mr. Das?
I'm not seeing any others at the moment. Or can adults start at a level as a student would?
I don't understand that. Can adults start as a level 1 student as a student would? Are you saying our students are not adults? I don't understand that. We take people from age 16 until. So the 16 and 17 are not adults, but 18 upwards are adults. If you're trying to say sort of older students, well, yeah, but you know what? Whoever comes into the room, we good. Yes.
What time of day would classes generally start?
Well, that's a big one. Well, we as artists, we like to work late. So our classes generally for the degree tend to be afternoon classes, tend to be 1 o'clock. Some start at 4, some may even start as late as 6. Certificate classes are mixture, some are in the morning, some in the afternoon. And because we are they're visual and they're performing artists, sometimes we do go a little bit deeper into the evening because, of course, we have rehearsals.
Savannah asked about accommodations. What do accommodations look like for regional students?
No problem. We have places, in fact, quite right near to the Creative and Festival Arts. We have the Sir Arthur Lewis Residence Hall, which is a huge place. And it's approximately like a 3-minute drive away by the shuttle. It's about a 5 to 10 minute walk.
Leanne is asking questions. She's referring, the question about age is referring to the her aunt also wanting to come in on the program with her on the same level. So I think you answered that, Mr. Murray. That yes. Both, yeah, you answered it in terms of the age. Leanne, was the answer sufficient for you? Yeah, she says yes. All right, great, man.
And I just asked.
Go ahead.
Classes on Saturdays.
There may be rehearsals on Saturdays, but there are no standard classes on Saturdays, unless they're makeup classes. And then one of our adjunct lecturers, Ms. Hossain, just said, to remind persons that besides coverage from out of pocket, besides gate, that the university does have provision for persons with a number of their limited bursaries which are available. We would very much like you all to check on those bursaries. Once you arrive on campus, the same thing that Mrs. Ramnal talked about, the DSSD, the Division of Student Services and Development. What you can do, you can go and check there, look for the bursaries for which you may qualify, and check in on there, because the university does have for generalists and also specifically for creative arts students. We urge you to check on those.
We have Salim asking about individuals that work in the field of theatre arts, for example, Naparima Bowl and Sapa and Napa, if it would be easier for individuals like these to get into the theatre arts program.
Would either the theatre arts person, especially we can also talk about technical theatre. Would you like to respond, either Dr. Weeks or Mr. Lakai? About is it easier for persons who are working at Sapa, Napa, Queen's Hall, etc., any of the performance halls, is it easier for them to access?
Well, I think that all students are required to matriculate, so they have to have the necessary qualifications to enter the program. I suspect the individual wants to know whether students can access the programs through experience, merely through experience, but I think that the qualifications are requirements. But the experience certainly would be a plus for them when they enter the program.
And yes, with the University of the West Indies says once you're 21 years of age, you are an adult student. And therefore, once one is over 21, yes, those it is taken into account. And we have had some students who have not always met those types of experiences, but have come in fact, at the postgraduate level, we are currently considering some persons like that. So those are on a case-by-case basis. I'm seeing lots of some specific music things from Elizabeth Papanet. So that's a music question that we will talk about in the I think in the music chat, not so, Mr. Delas?
Yes, definitely.
Right, so we can do that. Accommodations available for the certificate program students as well on campus, and the answer is absolutely yes. A student is a student. Any others or that we have?
Before I saw Savannah had asked about performing opportunities, and that students can get. We can answer that.
I'm sure you can answer that. You can just.
Oh, well, I mean, we definitely, I guess we'll answer in the room.
Yes, and the same thing about Miss Hargrave's job about using the UV Art Steel and UV Art Chorale. Can you perform in both? We will certainly answer that in the room. I'm joking when I say that yes, you can, one hand can play the steel pan and the other one you can sing. Yes, we do that too, but no, I'm just joking. We will talk about that in the music part. I think, Mr. Delas, we think we can wrap now and stop take because it seems like the questions are becoming more specific to disciplines.
Definitely. So everyone, if you haven't already, please rename yourselves to reflect the discipline that you are interested in, and we'll be putting you into the breakout rooms specific to those disciplines, and you can ask further questions there. We'd like to thank you all, just generally as a group. I know we're not leaving as yet, but still thank you all very much for coming to Let's Talk You, and we'll narrow it down some more, ask more questions. See you all in the breakout rooms.
And we thank Mr. Delas for hosting, and we thank Mr. Roger Allen Jackson, who is our technical guru this evening, and who will be putting us into the breakout rooms in a moment. Thank you all for coming. Keep your questions coming. Thank you very much, everybody.